knew a girl, she was being kind of snooty. She does not know my friend Ricardo Moody, but she got a nice booty.
Are you thinking for weeks like, oh, that's a really dope chair, I'm gonna devote some time to this?
I really want to paint something that really moves me. And yeah, it ended up being like these chairs and plants and like a combination of like chairs and plants and like rooms and even windows.
Is this art? Say it with us. Is this art? Is this art?
Yeah. The hottest street boys, hottest street boys, hottest street boys. It's the hottest street boys.
Like and subscribe. Yeah, man, big episode.
Here we go.
Our Sunday fun day buddy, Ricardo Moody.
Ricardo Moody, the artist.
Yeah. Don't be snooty.
Don't be snooty.
Or you can be snooty. It actually works both ways.
Yeah, I think art, you're allowed to be that kind of person who looks at things like, and you scratch your chin and you're kind of,
Yeah.
you know.
Wait, you think you're snooty and you haven't bought a Ricardo Moody?
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, all day. I got these all day, man.
Yeah, don't stand there scratching your booty.
I don't know if we could sell that as well, but yeah, that's like an Old Spice ad. That's for the alternative.
Sorry.
For sure. Yeah. Are we Hattiesburg madmen, basically?
I like to think so.
I think we are.
Yeah. You're definitely giving me Don Draper vibes right now.
Yeah, I've been just raging. I don't even have any whiskey in these. These cups are empty. Like, dude, chill out. Like, yeah, you're right. It's no AC, dude. I get heated, literally.
Exactly. Woo.
City of Hattiesburg, to the top. Man, Saturday, though, Southern Miss football, go to the game. John Smith was on last week.
Yes.
Absolutely electric guest.
Great episode.
He is now our official sports correspondent.
He is.
And then when he goes and hangs out in the touchdown club, he's a hearty sweet boy.
Hearty sweet boy.
Because of sweets.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah. So,
Sweet.
Dude, he was awesome, and he had great points, and he's another guy who gets fired up, man. Support the people who support you. This city is what it is because of the university. Full stop. There's no debating it. The city would not be the same without Southern Miss, and a big reason it's cool and weird is because the Golden Eagles reside here. So we're very thankful for the university, and we do need to go support, especially you and I, artsy guys, right?
Yeah.
Creative types. We need to go support the football team, even if you call it throw ball, and even if you yell sports games when you're at Buffalo Wild Wings and you just love theater.
Yeah.
That still go to the football game, okay?
You mean the hand egg match?
The hand egg match. Who's winning? It's like Zoolander when he's working with his family. Who's winning the match? Be that guy, but still go to the match. Like, it doesn't matter. Do it.
Liberty's coming to town.
Yeah. And
it should be a good game.
And we're going to free them of that W. So it's going to be a good weekend. Super excited. We got Ricardo Moody on the show.
Woo!
I think it's just time to get to it.
Let's get to it.
I once knew a girl, she was being kind of snooty. She does not know my friend Ricardo Moody, but she got a nice booty. Yeah. I knew it was trouble right from the start. She didn't have very much appreciation for art. It was not gonna work out, no. But you know, we're about to start the show.
Wow.
Wow, thanks, Jamie.
Thank you.
You never know what to expect with Jamie, so massive.
Thank you.
Ricardo Moody, man, artist. You're a runner. You're a guy around town. You're our Sunday Fun Day SoPro buddy. We see you up there. How you doing, man? You doing all right?
I'm doing real good. Yeah.
It's good to have you on here.
It's been a good day. Yeah, it's good to be here.
We've been talking about it for a little while now. First things first, I want to get into you're an artist. Are you a full-time artist?
Not quite full-time. I try to work it in. So I'm a full-time art teacher. And when I'm not teaching, I'm trying to make full-time happen at home. So
Where do you teach art?
I teach art at Presbyterian Christian School.
PCS, Bobcats.
At the high school,
Yeah, I graduated from there, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good spot. So art, though, is your business, though. Even as a teacher, you're still dealing in the currency of art.
Art's my business. It's what I think about. It's what I do. I'm constantly thinking of new ways to like make something and paint something or teach it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a full-time job. That's what I want to be doing.
Yeah. What's your preferred medium?
Right now it's been acrylic on canvas, and when I can, I'm doing murals, and that's acrylic also.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, acrylic on canvas is what is my jam.
Yeah, dude, painting, visual art to me, I feel like, me and Massive, I feel like we're artistic or we have creative minds, but for me, there's such like a block with visual art. Like, do you feel different being like good at visual art? Because it just seems so foreign to me.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm thinking of a new painting, I usually think about it in my head for a couple weeks or a couple months sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like, I already know what I'm going to paint, and I can kind of see the finished product before I actually do it, which is kind of neat. I mean, I've always kind of been that way, where I can kind of see it before it happens. It doesn't always happen the way I want it to happen when I produce it, but most of the time it does. Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of the time it works out.
You feel like you see the world differently, though.
Yeah, so I graduated from the Art Institute in Colorado, and I actually got a graphic design degree. But I'm always looking at like fonts and like the way things line up, like kerning and like just the kind of fonts that are being used. But other than that, like I'm always looking at like street art and like I don't know, paintings at galleries or in restaurants, and always kind of critiquing and thinking about like, ooh, I like that, and can I bring that little thing into my own art? Or
how do you pick a subject matter? Because like I like your stuff, but how does that, how do you decide it? Are you thinking for weeks like, oh, that's a really dope chair, I'm gonna devote some time to this? You know what I mean? Like, how does that moment strike you? Because what I'm getting at is you're not like everybody else. You know what I mean? And that's a cool thing. As kids, we kind of get in our heads about it, like, oh, I want to be like everyone else. But then like in adulthood, and you find a medium like this, you find a skill, you're like, no, I don't want to be like anyone else. I want to be just like me. So how do you go from seeing a chair to having a really cool piece of artwork of that chair that doesn't look like anything you've seen, like this, that's totally different from what you saw in real life?
Yeah, I mean, so I'll back up for a minute. So like when I first started painting, I was trying to paint like something that I thought would look cool in a kid's room. So I was painting like animals and things like that. And then I finally got to the point where a couple years later where I was like, I really want to paint something that really moves me and paint for myself, and hopefully people like it. And yeah, it ended up being like these chairs and plants and like a combination of like chairs and plants and like rooms and even windows, in interior spaces. Mm-hmm. And for me, I am always thinking about experiences that I have with like friends and family and just good times with my wife or different people that I spend time with. Mm-hmm. And I really like the aesthetic of like certain chairs, especially like mid-century type stuff. And I want to put that experience into a painting. Mm-hmm. And like, so I'm bringing bright colors in there to kind of bring that feeling in there. Mm-hmm. And as far as choosing a chair to paint, just kind of, if I'm at a place and we're having a great time, I'm like, man, that chair is beautiful. Like, I want to paint that. I'll take a picture of it. I'll bring that home and I'll turn that into a painting.
Yeah. That's you're very, as you should be, nonchalant about it. But to me, like, I just am never looking at a chair going for anything other than sitting in. So it's just kind of fascinating to me.
Yeah, would you say you're cherry picking?
Maybe a little bit. For me, a chair is like, we're sitting in chairs right now, so we're like having a good conversation, we're having a good time. And yeah, again, like I'm trying to bring that into painting where like I had this great experience, but I want you to also have a great experience looking at it and like spending time with that painting and maybe even get your own like experience out of just looking at it.
Mm-hmm. What's the color scheme of this show? Not based on artwork that we've done or necessarily anything in the room, but the energy of the show. If you look at like inanimate objects, can you tell me the colors that you see that you would put into a potential piece of work?
I mean, I got to go with pink. Pink is a warm color. It's happy to me. Yeah, pink. I just love the color pink.
Dude, pink rocks.
Yeah.
It like pink. So we did pink and green because I mean we're big Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, I don't know if that's topical now with Will Smith. I hope he gets the help he needs. But yeah, I love that pink and green mixture. And what was funny is going through some of your stuff, going like, oh man, kind of kindred spirits without really realizing it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man, pink and green's fun. And but okay, so you're an artist, and we're gonna actually kind of come back to that. We'll circle back. But you're also a runner. Like, what does running do for you?
Yeah, so like maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, I started dealing with some anxiety, and I started looking online, of course, and I read like, hey, running can kind of help with this. So I started running by myself, and I used to live in an apartment at the time, so I was just doing laps in the parking lot until I got X amount of miles, and then I eventually joined Pine Belt Pacers. Shout out Pine Belt Pacers.
Yeah, Pine Belt Pacers, what up?
Yeah.
Keep running.
And then I was running with them for a while, and then started running with the Hares. Shout out Hares. I'm still running. I don't always put in the mileage that I want to every week, but for me it's just like a little goal to I want to run, so many days a week, and I try to do races. So we're about to come up on racing season here. So actually next week is Labor Your Legs on Monday on Labor Day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that. But for me, running it calms me. I like the feeling of just running the streets. I mean, I feel like you can see the city in a different way from running than you can from driving your car through it. You just see houses, you see people, you see nature, you hear it. It's just a different experience than driving. And then even a different experience than you can get on like a treadmill. And so for me, it's calming, it's relaxing.
Is it as much mental as it is physical?
I think it's both, actually. Like, for me, I like the physical feeling of it. It does calm me down. It gets me in shape. I feel good afterwards. I feel energized afterwards. But mentally, I'm like, if I'm in a race, or even if I see someone running, like, I'm always like, hey, dude, when I run past them. Or I'm like, I think I can catch that guy. And like for me, it's like a mental thing. Like you need to catch him. Let's catch him. Let's go. And so I'll speed up a little bit. And I mean, it's kind of a fun mental game.
I like that you mentioned anxiety because we talk about mental health on the show a lot. And I love the UFC fighter Patty Pimblett, Terrell Owens. There's all these athletes that have started talking about mental health for men. Like, hey, man, like, it's something everybody has to deal with.
Yeah.
And it used to just be like, we didn't talk about it. It's like, so there are other ways to deal with anxiety, depression. Like, so for me, I love running because my thoughts get really loud, and so running quiets it down. And then I love that you say you see the city differently. You see some weird stuff because you're paying attention.
Yeah.
You're just going like, wait, did I just run past that? I'm not going to call anyone out, but it's like you just see more because you're in a spot where like you have to be aware because you're trying not to get hit by somebody in a car who's texting.
Yeah,
that's a big deal around here. There's not as many sidewalks, but you're like really like it's one of those unique things. There's nothing like running for me mentally. Like if I can't run or just like move and travel, like a treadmill is even worse because you feel like a hamster on a wheel.
Yeah.
You know? So I love being able to run. I love the events though in town. The Labor Your Legs is such a honorable,
Yes.
like a great event. I grew up with the Henleys. Actually, Coach Russ was one of my basketball coaches, and he was a saint because I was terrible, and he was still nice to me. He was still a good guy. But that's something that, like, I don't know if registration's still open, but where's the route for Labor Your Legs?
It starts at, what's that mall called?
Cloverleaf?
It starts at Cloverleaf.
Yeah.
And then it goes, I'm not sure what neighborhood that goes to, but
Is it through the avenues? I
kind
think,
of
right?
avenues,
Yeah.
Park Hill. Is
Park
that-
Haven.
Park Haven.
Park Haven. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's the one thing too that even if you're not racing, I don't know if registration's still open. Go check it out. It's just a good energy to be around.
Yeah.
So for sure, man.
Yeah, that was one of the first races I did, and I'm ready to go back and do it. Yeah.
Are there similarities between your running, something athletic, and the painting, the artistic like release you get? Because not just runner's high. People like to talk about the endorphin buzz.
Yeah.
I just mean something that is keeping your mind occupied, but making you also feel productive. Are those two things similar or different? And if so, how?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think with art, I'm always thinking about like, what can I do? Like, how can I make this kind of color work with this color, or is this really what I want to do? And with running, I have like planned routes that I think I'm going to do, but then a lot of times I just kind of make up routes as I go, maybe. And maybe that's kind of like how I paint sometimes. I have kind of a rough plan, but then I'm also trying to be as intuitive as I can with kind of how I feel at the moment and like kind of like what I'm thinking of as I'm moving through the painting. Same with running. I mean, sometimes like the other day I was running and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do 3 miles, and I was like, I feel pretty good. I'm gonna add another mile, and then I got to 4. I'm like, I kind of want to do 5 now because I'm feeling good. So I just threw on another route, and I'd never run that route before, and kind of threw it in there and went on home, and yeah.
Does that help you? Like, do you ever have like writer's block basically, and go for a run? It kind of clear you out and like help you actually stay productive in your craft.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, running is such a good way to like clear my mind, and like I think about stuff, but a lot of times I'm just like I feel like I'm not thinking about anything. Like I just want to. It just kind of lets my mind like kind of slow down a little bit, because I always feel like my mind is racing, and I don't know if that's just because I'm an artist or because of anxiety, which I'd say yes to both. But like, yeah, like running just kind of slows my mind down, and it kind of feels good to not think about a whole lot other than like, I'm going to put my next foot, my right foot in front of my left foot, and I'm just going to keep going and going. And then I'm kind of aware of like, oh, there's birds over here, and I can hear the crickets, and I can hear the cars going by me. I can hear someone coming up behind me. And yeah, it's kind of a nice way to just relax and not think about a whole lot.
Well, it helps you get in that flow state where you can just create. And that's like one of the best feelings ever. That's one of those, I'm so thankful for that, that ability to do it. And for me, it's more musical. And same thing with Jamie too, like being musical and being funny. Like when it's just clicking, man, it feels so
it just
good.
Works. Yeah.
It's just like, this is the best thing ever. So, man, that's so cool. I want to find out more about your process, but we're actually going to play a game. So we're going to take a short break. After this, more Ricardo Moody.
All right.
Jamie, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Have you ever done anything for, I don't know, 50 years?
No, not yet.
What about 75?
Can't say I have.
What about like 100 years?
You know I haven't.
115?
I'm not that old.
Yeah, that does make sense. And if you haven't done something for 50, then why would you do it for 75 and then 100
Yeah.
and 115? But the reason I'm asking you is because Community Bank has been in business for over 115 years.
Really?
Yes.
That's a long time of banking.
You can bank on that. I hate myself. Community Bank believes their success lies in their continued commitment to community and upholding the same small-town values that they were founded upon over
15 years ago.
teamwork. They're relationship bankers, so like kind of serious.
Yeah, they get to know you, right?
I like how they're putting a title on it. You know,
They're relationship bankers.
Well,
they're banking on relationships.
right? But when you get into a relationship, you don't want to move too quickly.
Yeah.
And putting titles is dangerous.
Yeah.
But I kind of like how they're throwing caution to the wind. They really want to be with their customers.
You mean their community?
You can bank on that. It still feels gross when I say that.
Weird.
Whether you're trying to grow your business, grow your savings for your future, or building your dream home for your family, Community Bank is committed to helping you achieve your goals. Community Bank, a bank that knows community.
Member FDIC.
Equal housing lender. Dude, we're getting good at that.
I think so.
Like, you nailed that.
Thank you.
That was good, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Good job.
Thanks, man.
All right, and we're back with Ricardo Moody, artist, and we're going to play a game. This is called, Is This Art? Say it with us. Is this art? Very, very well done. Especially those of you who played along at home. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to show you a piece of art, or I'm going to show you an image.
All right.
And then you have to decide whether or not it's art. Because we all know art is objective, and it's very easy to tell what is and what isn't. So first up, is this art?
That's art.
Yes. Whose art is it?
That's my art.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about this, picking a chair. How did you pick this chair? Because it's bright too, so it's like a lounge chair. It looks kind of like, almost like it's in the 70s. I might be butchering this, but it has like a cool pink floor, green stripes, like a teal background. Take me through the composition of this piece.
Yeah. So a couple years ago, so I go out to Colorado. So I used to live in Colorado in Denver for about 11 years. Made a lot of great friends out there. Met my wife out there. Moved here about 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I try to go out there every year, either with her or since I'm a school teacher, I get off the summers. So I try to go out there during the summer for at least a couple days. Mm-hmm. Anyways, this picture in particular, I was on the way out to go see a friend and stay with them, and he has a chair like this. So that's a Herman Miller chair, but he's got like a generic version of it. Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking about, I'm about to go have a great time with these friends. I like to paint chairs. He's got one of these. This reminds me of him and his wife. I'm going to paint this chair. So yeah, and then green and pink. Love those colors. They go well together.
Yeah.
And they're nice colors. So yeah, this one reminds me of my friends. I think I titled this one Power Lines and Interstate Signs because I drove out to see them, and I was thinking about this painting as I was driving out there before I painted it.
I love the detail in the wood grain on the back of the chair, because you have like the black cushions on it, but then the actual wood grain on the back, the structure of it is the detail. It almost looks like, I mean, this is all acrylic paint.
It's all acrylic paint.
It looks like you took a picture of something.
Yeah.
Like it's nuts. Like the details. How do you get that done with paint? Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like, because this would be classified as, well, it's almost like you have this abstract with the colors, but the chair, that's like realism, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Probably like photorealism. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm trying to like constantly think of like, how can I bring in like realism and like mix that with like kind of an abstract kind of background or feeling to it. And yeah, I think I pulled that off in this one.
Well, what they say, like contrast is what makes things interesting. Like the human face has the most contrast of any part of the body. That's why you're so attracted to faces.
Right. There's
something about like the contrast between the two styles even within the same work. Is that something you think about when you do it, or just something that happens?
Kind of both, like I'm trying to think about how I can do that, but then also it kind of just ends up happening because again, I'm trying to be kind of intuitive as I do it. But yeah, I mean, I think kind of my goal is like I had this experience, I want to project it in my painting, but I kind of want like the viewer to kind of have their own experience with the painting, even if they don't know like my own story that I'm putting into it. I kind of want them to kind of pull their own story into it and kind of feel like they can picture themselves sitting in that chair with their friends.
It's like a cooler version of a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. Turn to page 3 now. All right, next we have this. Is this art?
It's a photograph.
Mm-hmm.
But
is it art?
I don't know if I call it art. It's a sweet mullet, though. A guy with a kitty cat.
Massive, you had this mullet. Why did you have this mullet?
I grew it because I wanted to kind of build awareness and also pay tribute to Patrick Swayze. Nice. So I used the mullet to bring awareness to pancreatic cancer, and I ended up raising some money, and I made some T-shirts. And this was a really cool photo taken at my favorite summer camp, Camp Ratton Green, with the old Shop Kitty. That's Shop Kitty. And the photographer was like calling out to Shop Kitty, and Shop Kitty looked right at the camera. So it's kind of a cool,
nice.
Kind of an interesting photo.
Like Roadhouse in the background there.
Yeah, definitely Roadhouse.
Yeah, before you took the picture, did you say, pain don't hurt?
I did. I said something like, let's take it outside. I was talking to Shop Kitty.
Exactly. Always take it outside.
Shop Kitty.
And pain don't hurt, man. Those are the two best. All right. Is this art?
That is art, yeah.
Yeah. Lots of lily pads.
Yeah.
Man, it gets me, man. This, like, at first, if you look at it long enough, you're like, okay, I think I can tell that this is paint. But it looks like a photograph.
Kind of looks like a photograph, yeah.
Like, how do you do that? Like, how'd you do that with this? How'd you accomplish this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So, like, kind of my process, like, I've always been, like, a really detail-oriented guy. And, like, I've always wanted to be, like, super loose with my paint and, like, not be detailed. But I always get back to detailed. And, yeah, I mean, this one in particular had a good time with some friends out on a boat, on a lake. And, of course, and these lily pads were kind of a great photo on the side of the lake. Yeah, and I got a picture and painted it. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just ended up looking like a photograph in the end when I got done with it. And actually, I think a lot of people thought it was a photograph when I posted it online, and I had to say, no, it's a painting.
Yeah.
And so I ended up reposting a picture of me holding the painting so that people could tell it was an actual painting.
With a newspaper from that day. Like,
I
did this.
Yeah.
Evidence. No, that's so cool.
It's not
man.
just lily pads.
Is this art?
That is art.
Yeah, this is funky, man. This has got to be in a gallery somewhere, right?
That's at Karen Gallery in Tupelo.
Okay.
And that was for their 12th anniversary show.
Okay. So this is like a potted plant. The pot almost looks like a mason jar. And then the two plant, it's like two leaves. What kind of plant is this?
Ooh, it's a what is that called? Of course, I forget the name of it right now.
It's cool.
I forget the name of it right now. But yeah, it's just so we love plants at home, and so like we're always like either potting plants in dirt or we're putting them in glass jars to propagate them. And this is one that we propagated. That like it's probably time to go into some soil, but I just love it in the glass jar. The glass jar is filling up with roots, and so like. I just left it in there, and I'm like, I got to paint that. That looks so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That looks really cool. All right, I like this one, too. Is this art?
That's art.
Bro.
Yeah.
So pink.
Yeah.
You can tell dude, you're perfect for our show, man. Pink and green. But
Pink
this
and
is
green.
pink. So it's two chairs. You have a painting within a painting.
A painting within a painting. Yeah. So, yeah, this one's from, this is a picture I took in Colorado when I lived out there, and it was just just kind of a reminder of like where I used to live. But then also that painting is a painting it's a painting of a painting that I got at like a thrift store.
Yeah.
And I just like the painting, and it's a picture of the ocean, and it's kind of my own rendition of that painting. So it actually looks a lot different from that painting, but I really like going out to, my wife and I really like going out to California. And that painting reminds me of California too. So that whole painting is kind of about the West the Western United States, West Coast, Colorado. So, I was trying to put that in the painting and make it into that.
Reminds you of beachfront property in Colorado.
You're right.
No, dude, I love Western United States. Like I have family in Colorado and California.
Oh, nice.
And that's what I like about Hattiesburg is that you kind of run into people.
Yeah.
People always go like, "Where are you from, Hattiesburg?" And when we're here, I don't really necessarily sound like I am.
Yeah.
When I leave here, I very much sound like I'm from Hattiesburg, from Mississippi. But like, do you see some kind of commonality between Colorado, California, like places that historically maybe seem more cultured, and this town?
So I'm from Orlando originally, Orlando, Florida. And so like the South is kind of something, Orlando's not really the South, you know? Like, so, I mean, when I moved here, like I learned all these new things. Like my wife would say these sayings when we first got married, and I mean she still says them, but I'm so used to them now. But like, let's talk turkey. And then I came to find out that that's like Southernisms, you know, and like, so she'd have all these sayings that her grandparents said that she says after things. I'm like, what is that? And like when I first moved here, I didn't even know what like casserole was. Like I never ate a casserole in Orlando.
Yeah.
But being out in Colorado, I guess moving here was kind of a big culture shift for me. But I don't know. Over time, I've grown to love Hattiesburg, and it's just like quieter, slower pace.
Yeah.
I like being here now. But
Fixing to will help you. You know, that works really well. I'm fixing to do this
fixing to
painting of
help
this
you.
chair.
Yeah, I'm fixing to help you.
And bless your heart. That
Bless your heart. Yeah.
Those two things get you pretty much anywhere you need to go. All right, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Is this art?
Ooh. I guess that could be art. That looks like something that some of my students would do.
How old are your students?
Seventh grade to 12th grade. But
so children.
I would say that all of them do that kind of stuff. Yeah. BYLT.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is a self-portrait I did.
Okay.
Worked really hard on it.
No offense.
And yeah, you looking at me weird, Jamie.
Yeah. How long did you spend on this?
I mean, it only took like a couple days. It's not
Took
hard.
days.
Yeah. I mean, I really focused on it, and I just wanted to do a good job. We have an artist on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good start. It's a good start.
Yeah, it's a great
at
start.
Something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Start. You want to talk about the shirt that is this like a cry for help?
Well, no, it's like Built Basics. I'm trying to get sponsored by them. Please follow me on Instagram.
Built Basics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in my art, I'm relentlessly selling out. So that's
Nice.
cool. All right. Is this art?
That's art, yeah.
Yeah, man. This is
Yeah.
cool. What is this? So it's another chair. You're into the chairs.
In that pink and that green.
The pink and green.
Yeah.
Is this green or
Or like a teal.
I get in
kinda
I get
color.
in my feels
Yeah.
about not knowing what color names are, and like
Yeah.
color theory is like a big thing.
Yeah.
I have painter friends where you're going like, hey, I don't, because I think Jackson Pollock is the luckiest guy of all time. But
Yeah,
we can
he
get in
is,
that.
yeah.
That's another discussion for another day.
For another day,
But is this
another podcast.
teal or like aquamarine?
I guess I'd call it teal, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me about this painting with the gold chair.
Yeah, again, so that's actually a chair that I have at my house. Got it at an antique store. Had a lot of good conversations in that chair with friends. Yeah, again, just trying to paint kind of my own experience with friends and family, and the colors happen to like look really good together. Actually, the original photo was against like in my studio. It was against a white wall. The sunlight shining in. Decided to leave the sunlight as a pink background. Brought in the teal. I was kind of vibing on those colors, so that's what I did.
Yeah. I love those colors.
Yeah, thanks.
It's very on brand for like what's hot right now, which is like kind of, it makes me feel nostalgic for the 90s sort of.
Yeah. So a little bit of Miami Vice in there.
I can like, when I see your stuff, I can hear synth keyboards,
Nice.
you know, and like that sandy snare drum, like
I'll
that,
take that.
Like you familiar with synesthesia, where you can like smell colors, or see sounds and stuff.
Sounds and colors.
I don't think I have that, but I think I just like the idea of that. Maybe because I'm not gifted in the visual, but I understand music to where like I'm constantly trying to take what I see and then convert it to something that makes sense. But
nice.
Anyway, all right, last one. Is this art?
That's art.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
This is killer.
That might be another one that like I think people thought was a photograph at first.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a painting.
Yeah. So these are these I'm not a horticulturist.
Some kind of lily.
Yeah.
That was on a hike in Northern California. Just happened to see that kind of on the side of the trail and took a picture of it. Wanted to paint a picture of it for years. Was kind of scared to, just because I didn't know if I could pull it off, and I just recently decided to paint it. Mm-hmm. And I think I pulled it off. Yeah.
Now, how many galleries are you in? You said you were in one in Tupelo.
Yeah, so the Karen Gallery, so the original one's in Tupelo, and then there's one that opened up in Laurel maybe 4 months ago, 6 months ago, maybe. So I've got work in both of those places right now.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that you mention every piece of work there. You mentioned a place you were at and or people you were with. It's cool to see like you documenting. You're a documentarian just in a kind of it's not abstract, but it's just maybe it's not as obvious that's what you're doing.
Sure.
Do you feel like you're doing that or?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm doing that. That's what I want to do, but I also want like the viewer to have their own experience. I might have said that before, but yeah, I definitely want the viewer to have their own experience with the painting. And like, so there's one painting, it's sold now, but that I did on paper. That is, the whole room is pink, and there's a couch in it, and a lamp, and some plants and stuff. And the girl that bought it lived out in L.A. She's like, oh, man, I really want to buy this because this reminds me of the first apartment that I had when I first moved to L.A. And, like, that pumps me up because I'm like, yeah, you get it. Like, even if you don't know my own story that I put into it, like, you're kind of drawing your own story into it. And, like, I like when people can connect their own story with my story that I put into the actual painting.
And that's true art, man, trying to involve as many people as possible. And yeah, man, that's really cool. Yeah, well, honestly, we want to thank you for sitting down and taking the time. That was Is This Art? Say it with us. Is This Art? We may not use that.
Yeah, I think you did so good with deciphering whether or not these pictures that you drew were art, as well as pictures of me and a photo that Drew made, that we wanted to present you with an original piece of art that I worked tireless.
This is a Massive J original. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's the three of us at SoPro having a pint.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I will cherish this.
This is actually a very accurate prediction of what's about to happen.
This is very
true.
accurate. Nice.
No, Ricardo, seriously, thanks for sitting down with us, man. It's great to have, I mean, we're obviously big fans of artists, but like having somebody who's also talking about mental health, talking about physical fitness, doing lots of positive things. We want more people to be a part of that community, and you're out in front, man, so it's really cool. So thanks for taking the time.
Cool. Yeah, I appreciate you having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Heck yeah. Jamie, can you play us out?
Yes.
Ricardo, you don't know Ricardo Moody. You need to know his art. You gotta do it from the start. You gotta play your part. You gotta do it there. You gotta sit in the chair. You gotta try and look hard and look and stare. You gotta look at the chair. You gotta look there and stare. You gotta look at that chair. That is art. That is art. That's art. Don't be snooty, don't be snooty. Don't dare scratching your booty. What you gonna do? talking to Ricardo